Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Pathways Stereo Reverb and Tremolo from Source Audio, and we're going to do it by showing you 5 of my favorite sounds in this pedal in some different motifs and contexts with different instruments for each of them, and also talk about 5 reasons to love this new pedal. If you're new to the channel here, thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe below so you can stay up to date on all the future videos here. And well, this is Ambient Endeavors. I got my start in the more ambient leaning, soundscapey type composition. I've really tried to broaden the channel out to include some of my other inspirations and some of my other points of interest musically. So you'll hear that in the video here. We're going to go through some pretty traditional and kind of classic uses for reverb and tremolo, and also get into some of those ambient experimental sounds. And so I hope that there's something for many or all of you on the channel here and also in this video. But we're going to dive in and kind of use this as a segue to talk about the first reason why I love this pedal, and I think it's a compelling and a impressive offering from Source Audio. Just the versatility and the range of sounds that you can get from Pathways with its handful of reverb options and 3 tremolos to choose from. You can pick and pair both of those with whatever combinations you want and really find some of those what I would call traditional classic sounding tremolo sounds or pairings, along with some more atmospheric, more experimental, or more ambient leaning combinations of sounds. There really is a broad array of sounds and textures you can get with this pedal. And so we're going to get into some of those ambient sounds later on in the video. Hang tight for that. But we're going to start with what I would consider a fairly classic or traditional pairing here with a spring reverb sound and a harmonic tremolo sound, playing a Heritage Ascent plus Les Paul, and just give you a taste for some foundational tones from the Pathways. So at its core, Pathways is a compact, stereo, multi-algorithmic reverb and tremolo pedal where you get 7 unique reverb sounds or reverb adjacent sounds, along with 3 tremolo sounds to choose from. And I really love the form factor that Source Audio has gone with Pathways. It's a continuation of this just slimmed down and kind of condensed version of their stereo effects. You saw it in the Artifakt and I believe a couple other of their pedals, but it really packs a lot of control and a lot of power into a pretty small package here. On the face of the pedal, you get pretty much everything you need to dial in the sounds that you want. You've got reverb time, a tone control, and reverb mix up top here, and then that 7 position selector in the center on the bottom to choose the reverb algorithm you want. You also have trem speed and depth on the face of the pedal there with a toggle for the 3 trem options here. You've got ability to engage some presets on the pedal too as well with this little button in the middle, and then your bypass switches to engage or disengage either the reverb or the tremolo. The tremolo also allows you to tap in a tempo with that right foot switch. And so for those folks like me who really want to have as much or all of the control of your sounds and your settings on the face of the pedal, this really does that in a really efficient, economical way. So like I kind of alluded, you get reverb sounds, but you also get a couple echo delay type modes that you can use on the reverb side. And we're going to hear the slap mode, which just gives you a nice slap back texture instead of a reverb dwell. We're going to use that along with an Opto style tremolo, playing a Telecaster with gold foil pickups here. And let's check out those sounds. The next feature I really love about the Pathways is its big, wide, dynamic stereo spread. And you can hear that in the sound samples if you're listening on headphones or good speakers. It just has this dimension and this really wide, big stereo feel, along with the kind of rhythmic pulse that you get if you're engaging tremolo in your sound. And it's a really cool thing about Pathways. It's something you don't always want. I'll give you that. And so there is always still the ability to run this pedal in mono, but I wanted to demonstrate with these sound samples the stereo width and the just dynamic kind of the movement that happens with the tremolo sounds, especially in Pathways. And so we're going to hear that in a more ambient leaning context. We're using a big room reverb setting on this and a bias tremolo sound in kind of a slower setting to give you this ambient sway and pulse, playing a Heritage H535. Let's check it out here. Another thing that certain people will gravitate towards about these Source Audio pedals is their integration with the Neuro 3 app. I think Source Audio has done a really good job continuing to improve and evolve that app and the experience that the user has on the app. You get some controls that you don't get on the face of this pedal, which I would kind of consider definitely secondary controls or fine-tuning controls. I think you can do 90% of what you'd want to do with this pedal on the face of it, which is important to me and probably to some of you. But if you are someone who loves to tweak and fine-tune your settings, the Neuro 3 app is awesome and you can use it on mobile or your desktop. You can also catalog and store and exchange presets with a community of users on the Neuro app, which is a really fun thing to do. I've uploaded a number of presets for some other Source Audio pedals there, and this week I hope to get to uploading the presets that you're hearing here in this video as well, if you want to use those as kind of starting points. But that Neuro app integration and the way that Source Audio has dedicated resources and time to improving that and to kind of maximizing that experience is really cool. So another selling point for this Pathways and for a number of the other stereo multi-algorithmic Source Audio pedals is the ability to integrate that app experience. So we're going to continue down a more ambient leaning rabbit hole here, now with a baritone from Rivolta, to just give you a different feel and texture with that pairing of reverb and tremolo. It's one of my favorite effects combinations to use with the baritone, and so I just wanted to showcase it here for your enjoyment. The fifth reason to love the Pathways is that at $349, in my opinion, it's a pretty competitive price for what you're getting here. We're kind of in a world where you can practically pay that much for an analog overdrive pedal. And when you think about all the different sounds and features that you get with the Pathways, it's really pretty impressive the way Source Audio has kept that price at that point, giving you, those stereo algorithms, the choice among 10 different sounds on the reverb and tremolo side. You've got MIDI in and out. You have that app integration with Neuro 3. They're just packing a ton of features and some really great sounds into Pathways at a pretty competitive price. So we're going to listen to one more sound sample here, the most kind of experimental ambient leaning sound or texture that I wanted to pull out of this, and also incorporate the Artifakt, another one of the Source Audio stereo pedals that I mentioned before. We're using a vinyl emulation on Artifakt, running it into the Pathways to just create this kind of interesting ambient folk type texture with Juniper rubber bridge guitar from Orangewood. Let's check that out here. So that's the new Pathways from Source Audio, the stereo, reverb, and tremolo. Hope you enjoyed this kind of sound exploration with a number of different motifs and contexts that you could imagine using this effects pairing in. If you're someone who wants a more deep dive into all the different sounds and features of this, I'd encourage you to go hit up my buddy Mark Johnston's video or my friend John at Signal Path. They've both got release day videos here that are more deep dives and more kind of intricate looks at the ins and outs of Pathways. But I hope this has been inspiring and useful for you. Thanks for joining, and drop any questions you've got below in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.